What defines the character of a community? How it reacts in times of adversity, how it celebrates joy, how it respects one another, or how it evolves and blends the traditions of all of its brothers and sisters into its community. COVID-19 has changed everything in our daily lives with one profound exception. It has not changed our commitment to make Santa Fe city government work for everyone in our city. The state of our city in these extraordinary times is about one thing: you. It's why we look after each other, take care of each other, reach out to each other. It reminds us how the small things can make a big difference. We need to continue to persevere while being kind to one another, to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger, and to be tolerant of all cultures and traditions that make up our community. Where will we be 1 year from now? What do we commit to? What do we aspire to? 1 year from now, we all hope we will be well on our way to a recovery from a health emergency and the economic impacts brought about by COVID-19. And we will be more committed to the principles of equity, opportunity, and social justice. We'll be working steadfastly toward peace and reconciliation in our community and across the land, guided by deep respect and shared core values. With your help, and with all of us working together, we will meet the challenges that face us today and create the future we want for our children. The foundation of our community is our resilience, spirit, compassion, heart, determination, grit, and yes, our love for family, friends, community, and city. That's what truly makes Santa Fe the city of faith. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining me today. By custom and by charter, it falls to the mayor to deliver an annual report to the people of Santa Fe on the overall condition and direction of this special place we call home. Usually, it's an event that involves both celebration and ceremony, but this year, I'd like to dispense with pomp and circumstance. This year, we should all acknowledge, has been a year like no other. It has brought pain, loss, illness, and tragically, even death. It has also reminded me of the true goodness of the people the City Council and I are privileged to serve, of the benefit of having such a capable City Council at this difficult moment, and of our good fortune of having a city workforce with such great competence and dedication. That's the real state of our city. In this extraordinary COVID-altered time, the state of Santa Fe is a reflection of the people of Santa Fe. What makes Santa Fe the city of faith is your love, family, friends, community, and city. We're a people who reach out to each other and who take care of each other. We did it before COVID times, we're doing it now during COVID times, and we'll still be doing it long after COVID times are behind us. Because of your heart and your devotion to keep Santa Fe safe, open, and together, the state of our special city is strong, secure, and resilient. If there's a Santa Fe response to the COVID virus, it's this. The pain it's causing in our community helps us appreciate all the more the good we enjoy in our lives. COVID reminds us how small things can make a big difference. We appreciate every day the importance of a good meal, the support of devoted healthcare workers and courageous first responders, the security of a safe place to sleep, the integrity of decisions to halt evictions and to provide aid for the most vulnerable among us. Not everyone has all of those things, not yet, but we're fortunate that we live in a community that provides for as many as possible what everyone should enjoy. There are so many among us who are making a difference. I can't call them all by name, but it's important to share a few examples. During this pandemic, our children and families have been hit hard. We're grateful to Sherry Hooper and the hundreds of volunteers at the Food Depot, to Robert Egger and the chefs and students who worked so hard at the community college kitchen, and to the many Santa Fe Public Schools employees, especially the bus drivers and food service workers who have fed Santa Fe's youth and families. Our local businesses have stood up. Pamela Koster and Mindy Hale, the leaders at Falling Colors, contributed $180,000 to assist small businesses and at-risk workers. Together, they've built a fund that has now grown to $860,000. When her hotel dining room was shut down by COVID-19, Jenny Kimball, the CEO of La Fonda, turned it over to Native American artists so they could create a pop-up version of Indian Market. Here in Santa Fe, tradition and innovation live and work together. We're all grateful to Ray Sandoval and the Kiwanis for burning away our individual and collective gloom with a zozobra to remember. If ever there was a year that deserved a good burn, it's 2020. And thanks to Ray and his team of tireless volunteers, first responders, and TV partners, this year's zozobra reached more than 321,000 households in all 50 states and 14 countries around the world, and was COVID-free. Thank you, Ray, for lighting up Santa Fe around the world. Just as important, this City Council has worked tirelessly throughout this pandemic. Forced to meet at a distance, your City Council has done extraordinary work to keep city government moving forward. Each has made a contribution and all have borne the extra heavy burden these times have demanded. In particular, I want to recognize the steady hand of Councilor Signe Lindell, the Mayor Pro Tem, who is prepared to step in at any moment to guide this city, and the hardworking chairs of our three standing committees, Finance Committee Chair Romana Beta, Public Works Public Utilities Committee Chair Chris Rivera, and Quality of Life Committee Chair Carol Romero Worth. I also want to recognize the tireless work of Councilwoman Renee Villarreal, Councilor Joanne Vigil-Koppler, Councilor Michael Garcia, and Councilor Jamie Cassett Sanchez. All 8 of these council members do our city proud. We're fortunate to have such a dedicated group of citizen leaders at this difficult time. They're coping with the challenges of the moment, and they're committed to Santa Fe's future. Most importantly, my thanks go to you. You've pitched in and helped out, whether sharing meals, running errands, mentoring kids, or reaching out to elders. You are the glue that keeps this city together. But now with COVID spiking again, and alarmingly so, this is my call to action. All of us must rededicate ourselves to stopping the spread of this terrible virus. We must all have the discipline to wear face masks, use hand sanitizer, and practice social distancing. Each of us has the responsibility to keep all of us safe. It's right to acknowledge that COVID has changed everything in our daily lives. But there's one thing, one profound thing that has not changed, and that is our commitment to make Santa Fe city government work for everyone in our city. Our team continues to work every day to make good on the promise to make Santa Fe the most user-friendly, family-friendly, and eco-friendly city in the country. That's our day-to-day work, serving you. So let's start with the basics. How has your city government responded to the challenge of COVID in terms of daily life, your life, and the life of your family? As soon as the reality of this deadly virus hit us with full force, we reacted with speed, determination, and resolve. We proclaimed a public health emergency, and using emergency powers, we put the city of Santa Fe squarely in line with the governor and the state of New Mexico. We called for self-quarantine, mandated face coverings, and we put a stop to evictions that were caused by COVID. We equipped our city employees to work from home and provided PPE to keep them safe. We distributed 100,000 free face masks and 4,000 bottles of hand sanitizer to keep you safe. We allocated $275,000 in emergency funds to help families meet their basic needs during this pandemic. We stood up an emergency shelter for Santa Fe residents experiencing homelessness, keeping them safe and helping prevent the spread of virus to all of us. We extended free Wi-Fi at our libraries and public schools, providing the digital access you and your children need. We ramped up senior services to deliver 300% more meals to our vulnerable older residents, providing the help our seniors want, need, and deserve. We distributed 8,500 educational kits to Santa Fe families whose kids had their schooling disrupted by COVID. We created the Santa Fe Promise, a model of cooperation, commitment, and community, a promise to keep Santa Fe safe, open, together. Because of our strong and rapid response, the state awarded us $17.5 million as a grant, more than any community in New Mexico. We're putting this money to work right away, extending aid to our families, friends, and neighbors, supporting local mom and pop businesses, and investing in a safe and thriving post-COVID Santa Fe. We've also been hard at work on a day-to-day basis to deliver the services all of us should expect and deserve from our city government. We know we work for you. Our job is to serve you. That's why we're always looking for ways to be more responsive to your concerns, your suggestions, and yes, your complaints. In April, we launched a new online complaint tracking tool. Using it, our constituent services team has recorded and resolved almost 1,500 of your issues, and that's just in the last 5 months. Despite an enormous drop in our tax revenues, we proposed and adopted a city budget for this fiscal year that called for no layoffs and no salary cuts. At the same time, we enacted a community-oriented reorganization of key parts of city government, creating a new department to bring together public health and public safety, a new department to unify our community development efforts, and a new department to improve our community outreach and engagement, providing better teamwork and better service with virtually no impact on the budget. Responding to neighborhood and downtown complaints about dangerous driving and loud vehicles, the police launched 3 special enforcement operations across Santa Fe, working toward a safer and quieter city. We heard your concerns about short-term rentals and nuisance properties that make our neighborhoods less livable. The City Council, led by Councilors Lindell, Romero Worth, and Villarreal, passed new ordinances to crack down on violators. To expand the city's housing options, especially affordable units, and to keep our builders working, our Land Use Department issued 6,425 construction permits, a 10% increase over the year before. Today, we have more than 2,000 housing units under construction in Santa Fe. That takes us nearly halfway to meeting the estimated housing shortage we had when I took office. By applying the Green Building Code, we saved 17.7 million gallons of water, a 25% improvement over last year. Just one example of our commitment to implementing the Sustainable Santa Fe Plan. For our efforts at sustainability, Santa Fe was awarded a LEED Gold certification, only the second city in the country to achieve this recognition. Our hardworking and creative librarians circulated almost 50,000 items to you and your families using COVID-safe curbside delivery. We hired 13 new police officers and registered a 10% decrease in auto burglaries and an 18% reduction in robberies and an overall 25% decrease in major crimes compared to last year. Day in and day out, our unstoppable solid waste collection team continued to collect trash from every home in our city and collected 20% more residential trash than last year, overcoming every operational challenge thrown at them by COVID. With the leadership of Councilor Abeyta and Councilor Rivera, we reached out to teens and young people in our city who might be tempted to engage in gang-related activities. Instead, with critical neighborhood support, we're offering them a clear path to education, employment, mentoring, and a fulfilling future. And the one statistic you're all waiting for, since March 1st, when the weather changed, our hardworking pothole crew of just 12 city employees has filled 2,533 potholes, an average of 26 potholes every working day. Oh, and one more thing. This year, we carefully relocated 47 prairie dogs to safe new homes. Now, behind those statistics and many more that we've compiled for you in our list of accomplishments that's now posted on the city's website are the employees of the city of Santa Fe, the women and men who work for you. Your city employees give their best every day to help you and your family live your best every day. It's been a year of challenge and hard work, a year of achievement and steady progress, all in the face of 4 terrible crises: a global pandemic, a global recession, a nationwide call for social justice and racial reckoning, and the existential crisis of climate change. It's been a year of hard decisions, and I can tell you that in my heart, each and every decision has always been about serving the best interests of our whole community. This is true for last year's temporary furloughs implemented in response to the sudden, steep budget deficit caused by COVID. It's true for the issue of statues and monuments and the risk of injury or worse that could have come from the kind of demonstrations that turned violent in other communities. These are the kinds of hard decisions leaders are called upon to make. They're decisions designed to protect the well-being of all of our residents and to put us on the right side of this historic moment. But life lessons I've learned from my family and my faith will always prompt me to ask how I can do better. And here are 3 commitments I gladly make to improve as your mayor. Communicating with the City Council and the community at large as we move into the budgeting process for fiscal year 21-22. We will provide more transparency and better community engagement in developing next year's plan to invest your money. Communicating more fully and regularly with our city employees and sharing information with their union representatives, recognizing that our people are our most important and valuable city asset. Communicating with and listening to all of the individuals and groups across our diverse city. We must respond to the call of this time for an honest conversation about our shared cultures and blended histories. We must always see our diversity as the source of our strength and never as an excuse for discord. In this moment, the status quo is unacceptable. Our young people are telling us that. Doing nothing is not an option. Our consciences are reminding us of that. And going backward is simply unthinkable. Talk of winners and losers competing to see who has suffered more in the past leads only to divisiveness. The way forward is together, with empathy and understanding, based on shared values and fundamental respect. Over the last few months, I've been on a virtual listening and learning tour across Santa Fe, seeking advice on how we can best come together for community dialogue around our statues and our monuments, our histories and our cultures. Here is our purpose: peace, justice, and understanding across our community. Those conversations will continue as an opportunity for learning and listening. And soon I will bring the City Council a proposal to guide us to a fair and a collaborative process where all can participate and all can be heard. This is the longer term work before us: healing divisions, rebuilding trust, delivering on equity and opportunity. This is our ongoing commitment: serving your children and their children, so the Santa Fe they receive from us will be fairer and safer, a city where everyone can enjoy the fruits of their labor and live the good life. This is a time when the teaching from the Bible should guide us all. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Now, a State of the City address is by its very nature an accounting of the year gone by. It must also be an agenda for the year to come. Where will we be 1 year from now? What do we aspire to? What do we commit to? 1 year from now, we can all hope and pray that we're safe, healthy, and well on our way to recovering from the impacts of COVID-19. Here are our hopes and aspirations 1 year from now. We'll be celebrating the construction of the Southside Teen Center. We'll be making good use of the extension of free internet connections to all parts of our city, including neighborhoods that are economically challenged. We'll see real progress as we move forward with film, housing, and education at our Midtown campus. We'll continue our commitment to sustainability by making all of our street lights energy efficient and more of our fleet electric powered. We'll continue to make progress on our Built for Zero commitment to end chronic and veteran homelessness in Santa Fe. We'll see our economy rebounding, our local stores and shops being restored to health, and more job training and career opportunities for all of our residents and young people. We'll be on our way to implementing the recommendations of the Task Force on Public Health and Safety, co-chaired by Councilors Rivera and Villarreal. We'll be able to announce more progress in producing affordable housing across the city. A year from now, our fervent hope is to be enjoying the fun of our traditional markets and fiestas, the opera, Southside Summer, baseball with the Fuego, the fishing derby, music on the plaza, to be able to share in person the burning of Old Man Gloom, and once again, to see it live stream across the country, around the world. At the same time, with clear eyes, we see how much more we have to do to address long-standing inequities, injustices, and inequalities, to rededicate ourselves to the principle that every individual in this community has the right to realize their God-given potential. These challenges existed before COVID in our city and across our nation. Historic wrongs of income and educational inequality, of racial, religious, and gender discrimination, of bias in the workplace and in the housing market. COVID has brought these truths forcefully into focus. The young people here in Santa Fe and across the country have made that message their generation's work, and we owe them a debt of gratitude. We can't pretend that we don't see or hear their message, and once we do, we are called to action. In the year ahead, this city government will continue to take on the work not only of investing in our infrastructure, but also of investing in our people, investing in equity and opportunity, investing in good work and promising careers, investing in healthy families and safe households, taking care of people. A year from now, we will have come through this time of trial stronger, more optimistic, more committed to progress than ever. We will have proven our resilience and demonstrated our capacity to change. And we will always look at our city with pride, hope, and love. In the meantime, if you or anyone in your family is suffering because of COVID, please reach out for help. Know that we care for you. If you or anyone in your family is suffering financially, enduring economic pain because of COVID, please ask for help. We have resources that can make a difference. If you or a member of your family is dealing with bias, discrimination, or prejudice, please speak out. This is a time when we must stand together. You know, hardly a day goes by that someone doesn't ask me, "So, how do you like being mayor?" And then they usually give a little chuckle as if to say, "Bet you weren't expecting this." Well, the truth is, none of us was expecting this. No one could have anticipated even a fraction of what this past year has brought our way, or the urgency or the haste with which we've had to make decisions, many of them large and important ones with far-reaching consequences, some on matters where consensus still eludes us. But regardless of the circumstances, my answer is always the same. There is no place I would rather be, and there is no work I'd rather be doing. It continues to be the greatest honor of my life to work for you in the greatest city in the world. Outside Santa Fe, there are forces and people at work we can't control, and sometimes we can't even comprehend. Angry voices seek to divide us, to set us against each other, to distract us from the real work of making our lives and our children's lives better. We don't live in a bubble. What happens in Washington, D.C. matters here. So please make sure you participate in this election. Make your voice heard and your vote count. And this year, make sure you have a plan to vote. Make a difference at a time when there is so much at stake, here and across the country. Here in Santa Fe, we'll continue with the task at hand, finding solutions that work to problems that matter. We should all take a moment now to count our blessings, to look around at the beautiful and blessed place we get to call home, to reflect on the bounty of the earth and the beauty of the sky, to reaffirm our resolve to take care of ourselves, our family, our community, and each other, to come through this time with empathy and with vision. Empathy for each other today and vision to guide us toward our future. It will take all of us working together to meet the challenges that face us today and to create a better tomorrow for our children. It's work we will all gladly undertake with joy, with purpose, and with love. Thank you. Stay safe, and may God bless all of us, and may God bless our city.